Psalm 91. He who dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress. My God, in Him I will trust. Surely He shall deliver you from the snare of the fowler and from the perilous pestilence. He shall cover you with His feathers, and under His wings you shall take refuge. His truth shall be your shield and buckler. You shall not be afraid of the terror by night, nor of the arrow that flies by day, nor of the pestilence that walks in darkness, nor of the destruction that lays waste at noonday. 1,000 may fall at your side, and 10,000 at your right hand, but it shall not come near you. Only with your eyes shall you look and see the reward of the wicked. Because you have made the Lord, who is my refuge, even the Most High, your dwelling place. No evil shall befall you, nor shall any plague come near you, your dwelling. For He shall give His angels charge over you, to keep you in all your ways. In their hands they shall bear you up, lest you dash your foot against a stone. You shall tread upon the lion and the cobra, the young lion and the serpent you shall trample underfoot. Because He has set His love upon me, therefore I will deliver him. I will set him on high, because he has known my name. He shall call upon me, and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him. With long life I will satisfy him and show him my salvation.
Hey guys, Don Jr. here, and you're watching His Glory.
Wake up every morning at 3 a.m. Cause that's when I start my grind in. And I got no time for stumbling and chit-chat talk with the fake friends. I'm on my grind, yeah. I'm on my grind. You need to drive, I'm on my grind.
And we want to welcome all of His Glory Nation from east to west to north to south. Welcome to today's Kingdom Business Builders with America's Kingdom Business Builder, Clay Clark. All right, we're going to get to Clay just a minute. All right, off the top is Kingdom Energy. I don't know, Clay doesn't need Kingdom Energy, but I do, and this is great. Just take a packet anywhere with you, connect it with hydrogen water, and you're off to the races. Great stuff. Keep our bodies the temples of the Most High God. It is Mother's Day. Do not forget your mother this week. You can get your flowers through His Glory Flowers. Tell him, Mama, how much you care with flowers. Also, we have Purely Prepared Patriot. Stock up on ivermectin, fenben, hydroxychloroquine, no prescription, 40% off. Many people are taking advantage of this. Be patient with the orders because there are so many people buying right now just to stock up. And what a great Mother's Day present that will be. Also, get her Chronology. I got that for my mother. Mama His Glory. The Chronology has a BOGO right now. Buy one, get the second one free, and free shipping. Also, My Pillow, His Glory. Use the His Glory code. Get everything My Pillow. His Rev 7 is absolutely, Mike Lindell's Rev 7 is off the chart. We had to order more because it didn't last 3 days in our studio. Last, support His Glory shows and programming. Help us get to 1 billion souls in the 7 mountains for our King of Kings and Lord of Hosts. And that's what it's all about. See the kingdom come. Billion soul harvest, and we get to be a part of that. All right, those are the announcements. It's time for Clay Clark.
Super Dave, real quick, Dave. This is funny for you. Today is my anniversary. I've been married to my wife for 24 years, and I want you to know if you're watching today's show, and how do you know you're an entrepreneur? My text messages from my wife this morning read like this. I shouldn't read them publicly, but I'm going to. It says, "I really love the new song, the message, and how upbeat it is. The whole thing is so good." This is a song that she inspired called "Expectations" that I'm wrapping up right now, and so she loves the song. And then she says, the employees need to stop using the wrong credit card for the purchases. Just use the Amex and Discover card for business. No reference to our anniversary day. That's how you know you're self-employed. It's just because if you're a self-employed person watching today's show, or you want to be, there's no days off.
No.
There's no days off. And so the Bible tells us in the book of Genesis and the book of Exodus, we're supposed to work 6 days and rest on the 7th, which if you're a farmer, of course, that's what you do. If you're self-employed, of course, that's what you do. But in this world we live in today, I don't think a lot of people can relate to being self-employed. And so I want to give your listeners some stats here. According to U.S. Debt Clock, I'll pull this up real quick, Dave. According to U.S. Debt Clock, right now in America today, we are down to under 10 million self-employed people. I'm pulling it up here, Dave. Again, we have 9 million self-employed people in America total, out of a total population of 341 million people. Dave,
Wow.
that means that less than 3% of the United States population is self-employed. Less than 3%. And according to Inc. magazine, 96% of businesses are going to fail, according to Inc. magazine. Inc. magazine reports that, according to Inc. magazine, 96% of businesses fail. So what am I saying? I'm saying in America today, there are 341 million great Americans, and just 9 million are self-employed. So under 3% of the American population is self-employed. And of those that are self-employed, 96% fail. So by default, think about this. You have a 1 out of 1,000 chance of being a successful self-employed person by default. A 1 out of 1,000 chance. So why do we do this broadcast every week? Well, Dave, we come together because we want to speak encouragement, we want to speak life, but we also want to teach you practical moves that you can use so that you can take your incredibly attractive wife on a dream anniversary date after work. That's what we want you to do. So if you're watching today's show and you're super busy, even on your anniversary, and you're trying to make your business work, Dave, we've got 5 super moves that everybody out there can use if you're self-employed or you want to be Dave. And Dave, I'm super excited to unpack it for you.
Let's unpack it.
Okay, so super move number 1, and again, folks, take notes. I've got my notes right here to my left. I'm not playing solitaire. I'm reading you my notes. So the game of basketball, the NBA playoffs are going on right now, and no one would question there are 5 positions. Okay, you have the center. Okay, that's the tall guy typically. You have the power forward. That's a guy who's not as tall. Then you have a forward who's a little bit shorter usually. Then you have a shooting guard. Okay. Then you have a point guard. There's 5 positions. I think we can all agree there's 5 positions. Well, in business, there are 5 positions that you need to master. There are 5 positions in the game of business. You can't just play one position. There are 5 positions you have to master. And on today's show, I want everybody to rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the best and 1 being the worst on these 5 areas. So get out a sheet of paper, write down these 5 areas, and I want you to rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 on these 5 areas. And I'm going to share with you a success story of one of your longtime listeners who's blowing up her business. She's having massive success based out there in California. She's a listener who reached out to us months ago, actually over a year ago. She's been a client. We've helped her grow her business. She's already up 24% over last year's sales, and we're in May, which means we're not halfway through the year. So she probably will end the year up 150%, 160% up. So here we go. Area number 1, marketing. On a scale of 1 to 10, how good are you at marketing? Marketing is getting in front of your ideal and likely buyers. And so even though I love his glory, if I didn't have like 5 people text it to me last night, I would not have known that you interviewed Laura Logan. I had 5 people in my life text me saying, dude, you got to watch this interview with Laura Logan. Boom. And so I religiously, habitually put it on my schedule to go listen to and watch your program. But your audience marketed to me last night. 5 different people sent me a text, said, bro, you got to watch Bo Polney, Laura Logan. This is incredible. You got to watch it. So again, Dave, your audience marketed to me. So if you're watching today's show, I want you to think about how effective on a scale of 1 to 10 are you at reaching your ideal and likely buyer? Who is it that needs to buy the products that you're selling? Who is it that needs to buy the services you're selling? Who is it who you can solve their problem? So if you're watching today's show, I want you to write it down right now. How effective are you at marketing on a scale of 1 to 10? How do you know? 10 is like you're generating a ton of leads, a cornucopia of leads, an abundance of leads. And a 1 is you're struggling to generate leads. And if you need help, we can help you with that. But Dave, I think a lot of people, we graduate from college, we graduate from community college or whatever we do, and we say, well, I have a degree in accounting, so I don't do marketing. I have a degree in marketing, so I don't do accounting. I have a degree in, I have a sales background, so I don't do accounting. I studied graphic design, so therefore I don't do accounting. And Dave, why is it that people typically graduate from these colleges, wonderful colleges, I'm sure, with a specialization and not the ability to do all of these moves?
Because that's all they're taught. They have blinders on. They don't know any other way.
It is. That's what it is. It would be like if his glory, if Dave, and I know you wouldn't say this, but it'd be like if you said, Clay, I just don't use microphones. I primarily just talk into a camera. I'm like, well, you're going to have to use a microphone. Well, I'm not a microphone user. I specialize primarily in camera communication. So again, it's just a jackassery to not embrace that we have to do well in all these areas. Area number 2 is you have to do sales. Sales. Now, some people say, I'm good at marketing, but I don't do well with sales. And I say, why don't you do well with sales? And they say, I just can't handle that rejection. Dave, I want to do sales, but I don't want to pressure people. I know that I don't pressure people. I don't want to be pressured. But Dave, if your business can't sell, things will not go well. And I think there's somebody out there that says, what? Yes, it's not just about marketing. I mean, I know a lot of people, Dave, and I'm sure you've met them too, that go viral on social media. They have a lot of followers, but no sales. Eventually, we have to sell something. Dave, what is the hesitation, you think? 'Cause I think most Christians that I've coached over the years, and I work with 160 business owners to help them grow their companies. I've been doing business workshops for 20 years, but I can tell you the number one group of people that struggle the most at sales, Christians. Why do you think that is, Dave, that humble, God-fearing Christians hesitate to sell things?
Well, they shouldn't have fear, and it's rejection. They have the fear of rejection, and we shouldn't have that fear at all.
And I'll tell you this is something that I was taught years ago from a very successful minister. He told me, he said, Clay, you need confidence. And I said, what is confidence? He said, confidence is where you tell yourself, you confide in yourself that during this instance that you're doing what God wants you to do. Confidence. You confide in yourself during this instance that you're doing what God wants you to do. This Reawaken America Tour thing you and I did, we had how many baptisms, Dave? How many baptisms did we have?
Over 7,500.
Okay, now so many people would call me and they go, what are you doing? Aren't you the business guy that curses all the time? And I'm like, I don't curse all the time. Just this is all pre-COVID, but just daily, often, but not like constantly. I mean, I get through sentences without cursing. They're like, how are you leading a revival thing? And I'm going, I don't know. All I know is I have confidence that I've confided in myself that during this instance, I'm doing what God wants me to do. We're all going through a revival. And someone says, well, how can I have a personal revival? There's 3 R's. Pastor Jackson Lawmeyer talks about it all the time. If you want to have a personal revival, there's 3 R's. R number 1, remember to read the Bible. What? Yeah. When all the emotion stops and all the praise and worship music stops and all the big events stop, you and I have to read the Bible. So how do you start a personal revival? You remember to read the Bible. Pro tip number 2, repent, which means you're supposed to tell God you're sorry for what you did and go the other way. You're not supposed to make a 360-degree life change. You say, I acknowledge the sins I've done. I'm going the other way. All right. And the final thing is return to the habits of reading the Bible daily and talking to God. And it's just, so I just knew at that time, Dave, that I was supposed to use my skills to go out there and reach the nation and share with them the truth about what was going on and to team up with great people like you yourself and Julie Green and Eric Trump and Mike Lindell. But again, if I didn't know these 5 super moves I'm teaching you on today's show, we could not have done it because we had to do marketing. We had to do sales. We had to do accounting. We had to do these things. When we come back from today's show, I want to share with you a success story from a His Glory listener who's absolutely growing her business, having a lot of success right there in sunny San Diego. She has a shuttle service, and her business is booming. It's succeeding. It's thriving. And Dave, with 3 seconds on the clock, I think we're not going to go back to you.
Perfect.
So Clean Slate is the foundation product of Root Wellness.
Clean Slate, honestly, is better living through biochemistry. A simple, safe, systemic approach to remove toxins from our system.
And so I always tell people, you take the trash out in your house every day. Why aren't you taking the trash out of your body?
We're made to be amazing. We just haven't unlocked the potential until now.
Do you know that Amazon participates in the censorship of conservatives? Did you know they push trans indoctrination on our children? We're in a war, and I'm asking you to be a part of something greater. I'm asking you to join our kingdom economy. We all need to buy cleaning products, clothes, and food. Why not buy from somebody that loves God? Go to our kingdom economy page and make a difference today. Let's defund the cabal and be a kingdom builder. No more money to going into destroying our lives, our children's lives. We need to take it away from them. We need to cut it off and build the kingdom through patriot and Christian organizations. Do you want to give your money to corporations that do not share our value and our God? Or do you want to feed the kingdom that gets this nation back and loves our God and puts our God first? Stand up for what you believe in. Swap where you shop. That's how we win. Fight with your dollars, and light wins. God bless you, and go in his shalom.
Wow. And we're back with Clay Clark. All right. I think we left off at number 2, Clay.
Yeah, number
after
two,
sales.
before we get into number three, I want to share with you a success story. This is a listener. She has a shuttle service. She's based in beautiful San Diego, okay? And watch this testimonial. Here we go.
My name is Jamara Gonzalez, and I'm with Magic Carpet Shuttle and Tours. I have been a longtime listener of the show, along with my husband. You know, we really love everything you do, super encouraging, and I appreciate the website that you have with all the resources. But eventually, you know, I felt like I was at a point in my business where I knew I could do more. And so I booked a ticket out to Tulsa from San Diego, and I came out to a conference, and it was truly life-changing.
What kind of growth have you had this year?
24. We're up 24% from last year. So we already beat what we did last year, and we're 24% above that. So it's really exciting.
Now that we've worked with you for a while. Now, Dave, we didn't just go through one area of her company. We had to go through all these areas. So step number 3, I want you to rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the best, 1 being the worst. How high quality is your product or service? How high quality is your product or service? When people leave your restaurant, when they leave your business, do they leave excited or do they leave feeling like, oh, that was bad? And I'm just being real with you, Dave. When I started my first company, DJConnection.com, which I haven't owned since 2007, I was DJing weddings. And Dave, when I heard this pro tip, I thought to myself, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do this. It's called the Harvard case study called the Net Promoter Score. Okay, there's a Harvard, it's called the Net Promoter Score. That's the case study, Net Promoter Score. And the idea is you call every single customer and ask them how happy they are on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the highest, 1 being the worst. And the theory is if they're rating you a 10 or above or a 9 or above, they're going to tell their friends they love you. And if it's like, if anything is 6 or below, they're going to tell people how much they don't like you. So I thought, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to call every single bride that we've DJ'd for and ask them how happy they were with their service. And I had just started this company. And people were going, yeah, and they didn't know I was the owner. I was calling under kind of a fake name, sort of like a rap name, an actor name, so I'm going, so how happy were you with the service on a scale of 1 to 10? 10 being the highest, 1 being the worst. Well, I'll get this information to the owner. And they go, oh, it's like a 5. I'm going, a 5? Why is it 5? Well, they didn't get the song right. They mispronounced my name. The music was too loud. I'm going, no. People hate us. And so I began to say, well, if you were me, what would you do to improve? And they said, well, why don't you sit down with the bride before the wedding and clarify all the expectations of what she wants before the wedding, as opposed to serving me after the wedding. And I'm going, that's a good idea. And so I just changed my workflow, changed my systems, began doing consultations with all the brides before their weddings. Now we're getting like a 9 out of a 10 or a 10 out of a 10 every time. Now we're winning awards. Now we're the Wedding Wire DJ Service of the Year. Now we're DJing for Chuck Norris, true story, for his birthday. Now we're DJing for Six Flags. Now we're DJing for Boeing. Boeing, think about Boeing, Coca-Cola. Now we're DJing for the Who's Who. Now we're winning all these awards. Now we're doing 4,000 events a year. And you say, what? Yeah, folks, see, I only had step 1 and 2 nailed down. I had marketing nailed down and I had sales nailed down, but I didn't have quality control in place. If you're watching today's show and you need a checkup from the neck up, we can help you with that. That's what we do here at thrivetimeshow.com. Our workshops day, we got Tim Tebow coming June 5th and 6th. June 5th and 6th, Tim Tebow is joining us. We've got Eric Trump joining us, Alina Haba. We got Mel K, Julie Green joining us September 25th and 26th. It's going to be a blasty blast in Tulsa, Jerusalem. Thrivetimeshow.com, thrivetimeshow.com. Moving on to step number 4. Accounting. Oh, accounting. What? Accounting? Yes, you have to know whether you're making money or not. So, Dave, right here in my hands, I'm not going to show the whole thing to your listeners, but this right here, these are expenses for a client I'm working with, right? And they're going, my expenses are like $14,000 more than what they should be. My accountant isn't helping me, and my bookkeeper, and you get the folks. We've all been on a road trip with Dad when Dad can't figure out where he's going. He starts doing the thing like, where are we going? There's a little bit of that, right? So you have a business owner, and they're like, I don't know what happened. I'm out $12,000. It's like watching Back to the Future. Doc Brown is losing his mind. It's like watching Christmas Vacation. Chevy Chase is getting upset. The Christmas bonus didn't come in. And I'm going, calm on down. Deep breaths. What we're going to do is we're going to look at every expense, and we're going to highlight the expenses that you did not approve of. Dave, we found with this is real. Every client I ever work with, and this is no exaggeration, every client that I've ever worked with over the past 20 years that's ever asked me to look at their expenses, on average, on average, and it sounds crazy, on average, we find over $5,000 a month of wasteful spending. Wasteful or fraud spending. And some people, get excited about the Doge. I'm a little bit alarmed by some of the things Elon Musk says, but I think we all agree on the idea of reducing the budget. I think we're all on the same page with reducing the budget. And I'm telling you, people cheer for the national Doge. Woo! Reduce the government budget. But then we say, what about your budget? And they go, now we're getting personal, buddy. Get out of there. But when we have clients that let us do this, Andrew, one of our employees, I'm telling you, it's a true story. Andrew, one of our employees, a great teammate of ours, he sat down with a client this past month. True story. He helped the client save $30,000 a month.
Wow.
On recurring spending. This is a dentist on the West Coast who, by the way, was only paying himself he's a dentist. He's paying himself $15,000 a month. And we caught $30,000 a month of expenditures that he did not know he was paying for. You say, what was he buying? Well, he had an online ad he was running that the leads went to nowhere. So if you filled out the form, it didn't even get to him. There was an online ad. He had a person on payroll he had terminated. They no longer worked for him. They moved on. They said, we don't work here anymore. We're moving on. And that person was still getting paid direct deposit every week. Could you imagine paying the salary of people that don't work for you recurring? I can. Folks, what about doging your own business? What about this accounting thing? I get excited about accounting. I can't tell you how much I enjoy printing off the expense report for a client and highlighting every expense. It gets me fired up. You say, you like accounting? I love accounting. Why? Because it's like defense. And if you're playing basketball, it's like defense. You have to do this. Now, step number 5, folks, I'm telling you, and you should be grateful that you're alive. If you're watching today's show and you need a checkup from the neck up, your business is stuck, don't get overwhelmed. Just take action. Step number 5, you got to have systems. So, Dave, I go back to the different companies I built. One of my companies I built back in the day is called Elephant in the Room. Another company I've helped to build, OxyFresh. Full disclosure, I am the partner with Jonathan Barnett with Elephant in the Room. So he and I are equity partners together for our haircut chain. And I work with Jonathan Barnett for OxyFresh, but I am not an equity partner for OxyFresh. So the same guy I work with, just different relationships. But do you understand that OxyFresh has 500 locations?
Wow.
There's 500 locations, Dave. And if every location just booked 10 carpet cleanings a day, that would be 5,000 carpets a day. Elephant in the Room. Do you know, folks, our call center processes an average of 3,000 calls a day? Dave, we have callers in our call center that make 300 outbound calls a day each. And
wow.
that doesn't count all the missed calls, all the scheduling. So you got to have systems. And you say, well, Clay, put some meat on the bone. What do you mean by systems? So let's just focus on the call center for a second. You need to put call recording in place, okay? Once you get a call script, you have to install call recording. You have to install call recording. Someone says, what service should I use? I recommend clarityvoice.com, okay? Someone says, what else do I do? You need to install call scripts. You need to install a call script. Someone says, in what order should I do these things? I recommend you put the call script in order. You put the call script in place first, then you do call recording. Step number 3, just related to sales, you need to have weekly training. You need to install weekly sales training. It's really hard for a salesperson to be successful if they get zero feedback other than perpetual rejection. So you're going to have to do that. And again, Dave, there's a system for everything. So if you're watching today's show and you say, I want to be super successful, I want to do it, I'm encouraging everyone right now, go to thrivetimeshow.com. I'm going to go there with you. We go to thrivetimeshow.com. And once you go there, click on the testimonials button. And you have to ask yourself, why have Dr. Zellner and I, this is Dr. Zellner, why have we been able to build, between he and I, one of Oklahoma's most successful haircut chains for men, Oklahoma's most successful optometry clinic, a dog training franchise that booms, America's largest DJ entertainment service, one of America's largest wedding photography companies, a bank. Dr. Zellner built a bank, Regent Bank. I mean, what? A bank? A bank? A bank. Seems like a bank. It would take a lot of money to open a bank. You have the Z66 auto auction. I mean, and he has since sold Z66 auto auction. But you might ask yourself, how do you do that? I mean, is it because we're lucky? I mean, well, it's probably because you guys grew up rich. No, I grew up poor and he grew up poor. we argue about who grew up more poor. It's a kind of a competition. But he washed dishes at Chiquita O'Brien's. I'm working at Applebee's, Target, and DirecTV. So you say, well, if you guys are successful, what is it? Is it your paleness? Clay Clark is pretty pale. I bet that's what it is. He's so pale. He never goes outside. That's his tip. It's got to be the Sherwood Energy Sauce. That's what it is. I'll tell you this. Everybody watching today's show, Dave, you can become successful. Everybody watching today's show. And Dave, there's somebody out there that needs to know they can do it. Dave, I'm confident. Dave, you've been to the workshops before. I'm confident if anybody goes to thrivetimeshow.com and comes to a conference, they can have their life changed. But you've seen it. You've watched it. What's your reaction to the in-person business workshops?
It's off the chart. I've been in so many corporate meetings and trainings. There's nothing like yours because you give a good plan and you execute the plan. You make it fun and people go from that and learn and they're ready to go. They're ready to activate that plan. That's the key. Activate the plan.
I'm going to put a little meat on the bone here, too, with the final 90 seconds we have. Robert Kiyosaki called me after the last event we did. This is the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. He said, Clay, I'm in awe. I'm inspired. This is my favorite event I've ever been to. And it's not about me. It's about a system that we've built over the years. So one is we do a 30-minute teaching session. You get your tickets at thrivetimeshow.com. It's a 30-minute teaching session. And then we do a 15-minute question and answer session. So you're never left in school and college. A lot of times you go, I don't get it. But then they just keep going. The class does not keep going until everybody gets it. And we cover marketing, branding, sales, accounting, legal, workflows, everything to grow a company, how to raise capital, how to hire people, how to manage a team, everything you need to know right there at thrivetimeshow.com. And then we have scholarship tickets available. So, to get your MBA, you're at $100,000. To come to our conferences, it's $250 or whatever price you want to pay. And we've had, I'm not kidding, hundreds of MBAs over the years come to our conferences and have told us, they go, I've learned more in 2 days at your workshops than I learned during my entire MBA program. So it's from 7 a.m. to 5. So it's 10 hours of training each day, 7 a.m. to 5. You can get your tickets at thrivetimeshow.com. Again, that's thrivetimeshow.com. And if you use promo code HisGlory, and I know you're going to, you get a chance to win a backstage pass. So if you use promo code HisGlory, you have a chance to win a backstage pass with 10 seconds on the clock, Dave. Back to you.
Well, Clay, I was a director at AT&T Wireless, and I learned more in your workshop than I ever did being a director at AT&T. That's a fact. So sign up for today. Go in a shalom.
Amen.
Clay, my honor to be on your show. And thank you for all you do. I hear the ripple effects from you are good ripple effects. You know what I mean? People rave about what they learned from you. So congratulations.
Sean, guess what's happening June 5th and 6th right here in Tulsa, Jerusalem?
We are probably going to have an amazing business conference here at Tulsa, Jerusalem.
Yes, we're joined by Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow is going to be joining us right here at the Thrive Time Show World Headquarters, June 5th and 6th. He's a very successful football player, obviously a Heisman Award winner, but he's also a very successful entrepreneur. Now, when you work with real clients, Sean, clients you really work with to help them grow their companies, do you ever hear a business owner tell you that they didn't have time to get something done?
Every day.
How often is not having enough time a problem for business owners?
All the time. It's like maybe 90% of the issues as people are trying to grow their company.
Well, Tim Tebow is going to come join us here at the in-person Thrive Time Show 2-day interactive business workshop, and he's going to teach us time management and his approach to personal self-discipline and getting things done. Also at the workshop, I'll put up on the website so people can see it here. Also at the 2-day interactive workshop, Sean, we are going to be, there it is. We're going to be teaching accounting, systems creation, marketing, human resources, how to hire, inspire, train, and retain great people, accounting, social media advertising, search engine optimization. Sean, what's the area where most clients ask you for help the most? Is it generating leads? Is it hiring people? What's the biggest issue that most business owners have by default before they come to one of our workshops?
Well, I think it's management, because time is the most valuable resource for these business owners, and being able to manage their time is the first thing. Once they get that under control, then generally the numbers, being able to track their business and be able to make the best decisions based on numbers rather than emotions is a big area. And we teach all of this stuff at the business conference, particularly you, Clay. You love to hammer on time management. It's my favorite part of the conference.
Now, I'm going to pull this up real quick here because we're going to go through. If you're not excited, I want to get you excited about what we're going to cover at the workshop here. Okay.
All right.
The 2-day interactive workshop. This is my 20th year hosting workshops. So I'm telling you, folks, we're in rare form here. So one is the idea of establishing your revenue goals. I think most entrepreneurs don't know their revenue goals. Would you agree, or am I off my rocker?
No, that's totally a very important point we do with every one of our new clients that come on board is we have to establish the revenue goals. And generally speaking, we have a vague idea, but not an exact idea that can be engineered down into like the daily goals for sales. And so that's a really big one.
Now, next is the break-even numbers. What kind of sales do you have to do to even break even?
Yeah.
Third is how many hours per week do you want to work? What is your ideal schedule as an entrepreneur? Box number 4, how do you stand out in the clutter of commerce? What makes your company unique from all the different businesses? In a world of brown cows, herds of brown cows, proverbial brown cows, the analogy of brown cows, how can you be the purple cow that stands out? How can you be the squeaky wheel that gets the oil? Box number 5, branding. How do you improve the perception that people have of you, your business, your brand? Box number 6, marketing, your three-legged marketing stool. What is a turnkey way for you and your company to generate leads so you can succeed? Because if you don't have any leads, your business will bleed. If you can't sell, your business will go to hell. You've got to generate leads. Sean, how often do business owners by default tell you they have a hard time generating leads?
It's almost all of the time. It's really a huge struggle. And many times they may be creating leads, but just through word of mouth. So they get to a point where we've implemented systems and then they need to create more leads, but they've never had to do it. So there's a lot of different scenarios where business owners are like, how do you create leads? Something we hammer on at the conference a lot.
Box number 7, create a sales conversion system. Again, box number 7, create a sales conversion system. Sales scripts, recorded calls, one sheets, pre-written emails, lead trackers, all of the sales tools, the sales print pieces, the one sheets, the big screens that you see inside the business. Whether you're a doctor, you're a dentist, you're a lawyer, you got to have sales systems in place. We help you with that. Box number 8, what does it cost you to get another customer? Step number 8, what does it cost you to actually acquire a customer? Step number 9, it's hard to build an organization if you're not organized. We're going to teach you how to create repeatable systems, processes, file organization. Box number 10, we're going to teach you how to manage people, real people on the planet Earth. This just in, we're going to teach you how to manage real people on the planet Earth. Box number 11, how to create a sustainable schedule that works for you and your family. Step number 12, how to create human resources systems for recruiting, hiring, training, and retaining great people. Box number 13, accounting. This just in, we have to cover accounting. It's not how much you make, it's how much you keep. We're going to cover all the accounting things you need to know. And step 14, finally, what is the point of even achieving success? We're going to go over what is the point of even achieving success, how to design a life that you're excited about, how to design a life where you carve out enough time for your faith, your family, your finance, your fitness, your friendship, your fun, and where you're going to spend your focused time. We're going to go through that, all this and more. Now, the workshop, Sean, it's June 5th and 6th. Yep. It's a 2-day interactive workshop.
Yes.
And tickets, we always do it. It's $250 or whatever price that someone can afford. Sean, why do we let people name their price? Why do we have scholarship tickets available if somebody can't afford the $250 general admission ticket?
Well, we don't want anybody to miss out on it. You could be at a startup phase or you could be, way along in your business, but we want to make it accessible for everybody. I think it actually goes back to a story of your dad. And it goes all the way back to how you've always done this as a business coach, trying to make sure that, your average people out there have access to the things that work.
Now, 7 a.m. to 5, Sean, why do we go from 7 to 5 both days? I mean, it's 10 hours a day. 20 hours of training over 2 days. Why do we do 10 hours a day, Sean, of back-to-back workshops? We do a 30-minute teaching session. We do a 15-minute question and answer session, and then we take a break. 30 minutes of teaching, 15 minutes of question and answer, then we take a break. Why do we do that format, Sean?
That format is so that we can keep people engaged and not just sitting there listening, but also getting involved. We really encourage people to ask questions, and that's really where the juiciness of the conference comes out, is you can put your personal situation and your questions on the board, and Clay will tee off and give you direct advice. Even without being in our coaching program, you can get direct coaching from Clay. It's really a very engaging format. I enjoy it a lot.
Sean, final 60 seconds, pop quiz here. What date is the conference?
June 5th and 6th, 2025, this year.
Question number 2, who's our keynote speaker coming to the conference there, Sean?
Tim Tebow is our keynote speaker.
Sean, question number 3, how much does it cost to come to our in-person 2-day interactive business workshop right here in Tulsa, Oklahoma?
I think it's, did you say it's $250 or whatever you can afford?
That's right, $250
Yes.
or whatever you can afford. Sean, how do you spell Eric Trump backwards?
P-M-U-R-T-C-I-R-E. Ooh, that took a long time.
I'll have to listen to this. And you did it right. All right, again, that's Sean Lohman. I'm Clay Clark, inviting you to come join us at the in-person Thrivetime Show 2-day interactive workshop, June 5th and 6th, right here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Sean, I'm excited to have this event. I'm excited to see you at the event, June 5th and 6th, right here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Tim Tebow, baby. It's Tebow time in Tulsa, Jerusalem.
You could be anywhere doing a lot of different things, but you chose to be here.
Clay Clark is here somewhere. Where's my buddy Clay? Clay's the greatest. I met his goats today. I met his dogs. I met his chickens. I saw his compound. He's like the greatest guy.
I ran from his goats, his chickens, his dogs.
So this guy's like the greatest marketer you've ever seen, right? His entire life, Clay Clark, his entire life is marketing.
Hey guys, Luke Erickson here with the Thrivetime Show. As you can see behind me, we've got all kinds of energy going on. People are starting to show up for the conference, and it is hot in this place. We got grill guns over here. We've got people playing the drums. We've got fire breathers, and man, people are so excited as they come in. The conference is kicked off. This house is packed. We've got Aaron Hansis with Sean Holmes up there. We've got Steve Currington with Total Lending Concepts up there talking about what is possible when you just implement, when you do the proven system. It's so exciting. People are going crazy. Guys, Luke Erickson with the Thrivetime Show here with you. It is day 2 and the energy is high. People are so excited to be showing up. The team is ready. Come on, let's see what it's like to go on in for day 2. Follow me. I tell you what, people are so excited to be here for day 2. It is going to be incredible. Cannot wait to see what today has in store. Right now, here at the conference, we've broken into groups going over search engine optimization. I know for most of us, myself included, if you hear that term, you go, what is that? What does that mean? That's too techie for me. Well, our experts are breaking it down for people so that you can clearly understand how to come up top in Google. It's doable. It's possible. Now we're in the middle of a break, and what we like to do is we like to give you as much tangible and relevant information from about the start of the hour for 45 minutes. Then we take approximately a 15-minute break to allow people to connect with other entrepreneurs around them, bathroom breaks, and also use this time to just really digest all of the good information that you're receiving the whole time. Right behind me, we've got Bob with his grill gun, melting an ice sculpture. It is awesome. The ice sculpture represents our life, right? It's here for a time, but we all need to have the sense of urgency to implement the things that we're learning so that we can make the most of the time that we have.
I heard about it on the podcast. Started listening to the podcast, became a fan, and then figured out about the workshop. I own an insurance and financial services agency, and I was hoping to learn from the workshop systems and processes. I'm big on systems and processes and always learning better ways to run a business more efficiently. The atmosphere's second to none. It's a high energy, really cool atmosphere to be around. Contagious, I would say. Just something every entrepreneur, I think, would appreciate and love. I'd say humorous, high energy, and full of substance, which I think is the key. A lot of business coaches or seminars maybe are high on motivation and making you feel good, but don't have a lot of substance that you can take back and implement, the following Monday, where his does. Man, there's a lot of valuable things. I'm going to say, I came to this is my second workshop. The first workshop I took back really the importance of a group interview. I used to spend hours and hours interviewing people, screening resumes, and that saving my time on that part is valuable. It was that and then the sales scripting that have been two major things just so far. Man, I think they're missing out on, expert advice from somebody who's been there, done that, built companies, has learned a lot of lessons. That's what I'm always looking for, is somebody that I can learn from that's ahead of where I am. And I think if you choose not to come, you're missing out on a lot of good advice that can help your business.
Hi, I'm Aaron Antis with Shaw Homes. I first heard about Clay through a mortgage lender here in town who had told me what a great job he had been doing for them, and I actually noticed he was driving a Lamborghini all of a sudden, so I was willing to listen. In my career, I've sold a little over $800 million in real estate. So honestly, I thought I kind of knew everything about marketing and homes. And then I met Clay, and my perception of what I knew and what I could do definitely changed. After doing $800 million in sales over a 15-year career, I really thought I knew what I was doing. I've been managing a large team of salespeople for the last 10 years here with Shaw Homes. And we've been a company that's been in business for 35 years. We've become one of the largest builders in the Tulsa area, and that was without Clay. So when I came to know Clay, I really thought, man, there's not much more I need to know, but I'm willing to listen. The interesting thing is our internet leads from our website has actually, in a 4-month period of time, has gone from somewhere around 10 to 15 leads in a month to 180 internet leads in a month. Just from the few things that he's shown us how to implement that I honestly probably never would have come up with on my own. So I got a lot of good things to say about the system that Clay put in place with us, and it's just been an incredible experience. I am very glad that we met and had the opportunity to work with Clay. So the interaction with the team and with Clay on a weekly basis is honestly very enlightening. One of the things that I love about Clay's perspective on things is that he doesn't come from my industry. He's not somebody who's in the home building industry. I've listened to all the experts in my field. Our company has paid for me to go to seminars, international builder shows, all kinds of places where I've had the opportunity to learn from the experts in my industry. But the thing that I've found working with Clay is that he comes from such a broad spectrum of working with so many different types of businesses that he has a perspective that's difficult for me to gain because I get so entrenched in what I do, I'm not paying attention to what other leading industry experts are doing. And Clay really brings that perspective for me. It is very valuable time every week when I get that hour with him. From my perspective, the reason that any business owner who's thinking about hooking up with Thrive needs to definitely consider it is because the results that we've gotten in a very short period of time are honestly monumental. It has really exceeded my wildest expectation of what he might be able to do. I came in skeptical because I'm very pragmatic, and as I've gone through the process over just a few months, I've realized it's probably one of the best moves we've ever made. I think a lot of people probably feel like they don't need a business or marketing consultant because they maybe are a little bit prideful and like to think they know everything. I know that's how I felt coming in. I mean, we're a big company that's definitely one of the largest in town. And so we kind of felt like we knew what we were doing. And I think for a lot of people, they let their ego get in the way of listening to somebody that might have a better or different perspective than theirs. I would just really encourage you, if you're thinking about working with Clay, I mean, the thing is, it's month to month. Go give it a try and see what happens. I think in the 35-year history of Shaw Homes, this is probably the best thing that's happened to us. And I know if you give them a shot, I think you'll feel the same way. I know for me, the thing I would have missed out on if I didn't work with Clay is I would have missed out on literally an 1,800% increase in our internet leads. Going from 10 a month to 180 a month, that would have been a huge financial decision to just decide not to give it a shot. I would absolutely recommend Clay Clark to anybody who's thinking about working with somebody in marketing. I would skip over anybody else you were thinking about, and I would go straight to Clay and his team. I guarantee you're not going to regret it, because we sure haven't.
My name is Danielle Sprick, and I am the founder of D Sprick Realty Group here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. After being a stay-at-home mom for 12 years and my 3 kids started school and they were in school full-time, I was at a crossroads and trying to decide what do I want to do? My degree and my background is in education, but after being a mom and staying home and all of that, I just didn't have a passion for it like I once did. My husband suggested real estate. He's a home builder, so real estate and home building go hand in hand, and we just rolled with it. I love people, I love working with people, I love building relationships, but one thing that was really difficult for me was the business side of things. The processes and the advertising and marketing. I knew that I did not have what I needed to make that what it should be. So I reached out to Clay at that time, and he and his team have been extremely instrumental in helping us build our brand, help market our business, our agents, the homes that we represent. Everything that we do is a direct line from Clay and his team and all that they've done for us. We launched our brokerage, our real estate brokerage, 8 months ago. And in that time, we've gone from myself and one other agent to just this week, we signed on our 16th agent. We have been blessed with the fact that we right now have just over 10 million in pending transactions. 3 years ago, I never would have even imagined that I would be in this role that I'm in today, building a business, having 16 agents. But I have to give credit where credit's due. And Clay and his team and the business coaching that they've offered us has been huge. It's been instrumental in what we're doing. Don't ever limit your vision. When you dream big, big things happen.
I started a business because I couldn't work for anyone else. I do things my way. I do what I think is in the best interest of the patient. I don't answer to insurance companies. I don't answer to large corporate organizations. I answer to my patient, and that's it. My thought when I opened my clinic was I can do this all myself. I don't need additional outside help in many ways. I went to medical school. I can figure this out. But it was a very, very steep learning curve. Within the first 6 months of opening my clinic, I had a $63,000 embezzlement. I lost multiple employees. Clay helped us weather the storm of some of the things that are just a lot of people experience, especially in the medical world. He was instrumental in helping with the specific written business plan. He's been instrumental in hiring good quality employees, using the processes that he outlines for getting in good talent, which is extremely difficult. He helped me in securing the business loans. He helped me with web development and search engine optimization. We've been able to really keep a steady stream of clients coming in because they found us on the web. With everything that I encountered, everything that I experienced, I quickly learned it is worth every penny to have someone in your team that can walk you through and even avoid some of the pitfalls that are almost invariable in starting your own business. I'm Dr. Chad Edwards, and I own Revolution Health and Wellness Clinic.
Clay, my honor to be on your show, and thank you for all you do. I hear the ripple effects from you are good ripple effects. You know what I mean? People rave about what they learned from you, so congratulations.
And we went from expecting maybe 250,000 this year to we're at 400,000. Hi, I'm Kelsey with K&D's Woodward Finishing. I'm business owner at 23. So I've been working this K&D's company for about 5 years now, and we started working with Thrive not too long ago. And we went from expecting maybe 250,000 this year to we're at 400,000. That's what we're going to hit or exceed. So we're pretty excited about that. It's been pretty much just listening to what they have to say. Their hiring process has just really been incredible as far as finding good quality help, and the just the accountability of meeting up with them weekly, and like such good insight, the resources that they have for specific business questions. It's all been really incredible. It's been a great experience, so I would recommend it to anybody.
What I've seen from Clay and his group at Thrive is they'll give you a simple system, and it's the simple systems are the ones that people can wrap their brain around. They're the ones that people can work with on a day-to-day basis.
Hi there, my name is Stephanie Pipkin. I am 24 years old and I own Black River Falls Cleaning Services. We opened in April of 2019 and it is now mid-June of 2020. So I wanted to talk today about the success and growth I have achieved by implementing the Proven Path with Clay Clark's team and my business coach Luke from Thrivetime. It has been insane to say the least. I started working with them in mid-February of this year, so we're about 4 months in of working together, and it has completely transformed my business in pretty much every facet. So I'm gonna check my notes here. So in 4 months, my leads have tripled. I was getting probably like 2 leads a week. Now I'm getting more in the like 10 to 15 leads a week. I have doubled my number of employees. I'm now hitting the highest revenue weeks in the history of the company, week to week it seems like. We went from about 6 appointments today as our highest in February to now 14 to 15 appointments a day. And hiring quality employees has become much simpler and less stressful by using their systems for hiring. I typically only get maybe 2 complaints a month, if that, and everybody shows up to work. I just have really high quality employees now, especially in something people typically consider a high turnover type of work, you know, cleaning houses, cleaning businesses. I have amazing employees now, and I get rid of the ones who are not so amazing and bring on new ones because of, you know, group interviews and interviewing every single week. It's just been great, and such I don't waste as much time on low quality candidates anymore. And your coach will hold you accountable. I mean, which I love. Again, the tough love is really great. You know, Luke's like a stern father figure, but he's also nice, but also stern when he needs to be when I'm being lazy and not doing the things that I know I need to do because I don't want to do them. So that's just great. Worth every penny. I mean, I'd pay him $1 million a month if I can, and maybe someday I'll be able to, but I would just say go for it. If it seems like a good fit, just go for it. Do what they say, even if you think it's stupid or ridiculous, just do what they say because it'll work. You know, people, when they look at my business, you know, people in my town, they think I'm lucky. They think I'm just, you know, things just happen for me. And, you know, maybe I am lucky, but it has a lot to do with hard work and, you know, perseverance and, you know, working till you cry sometimes. That's just being an entrepreneur, which if you're a business owner, you understand that. But it's having these systems in place of, you know, of course I'm going to be successful. It's an absolute because I have all this stuff in the background happening, and I have Luke and Clay and everybody on their team working really hard to make sure that I'm a success, and I can tell that they are just so excited every single week when I'm having all these wins and things like that. They're so excited for me. So it's the best thing ever, and I would suggest to anybody to work with them. So sorry for the long-winded reply, but I just had so much to say, and I could go on for hours probably about how amazing they are. But thank you to Clay and Luke and the entire team there, everything you guys have done for me, and I am so excited to continue to work with you for years to come. Thanks so much for watching.
My saying is, if it's important to you, hire a coach. And I think that's one of the reasons people are not successful is they eat a cheeseburger instead of hiring a coach, you know what I mean? And so my coach pushes me. They're younger than me. They push harder. They're trained. And
as my rich dad always said, amateurs don't have a coach, but professionals always have coaches. So I've always had coaches for whatever was important. My rich dad was one of those persons. You're on it, man. You're on it. You're on it. Everybody, listen to this guy. He knows what he's talking about. You have the macro picture. Very few people have that point of view.
Clay, you're an entrepreneur. I'm an entrepreneur. And as they say in Stoic, the obstacle is the way. And so if you let these pinheads get in your way, you're in trouble.